Okay, hello again everybody. So today we're gonna make a recipe for ragu alla bolognese. So this is a very loved sauce all over the world and it gets made in various different ways. The traditional recipe will have a few different ingredients to the ones I'm gonna use today. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you a simple way of making it. And this is actually how we would make it back home here in Italy. Apart from if you were in Bologna. Bologna is the city where ragu alla bolognese comes from, and most probably they will make it the very old, traditional, authentic way. So the ingredients I'm using today is to start off with a base of vegetables. We've got a very simple mirepoix made of garlic, white onion, carrots and celery. I've got some tomato passata to put inside the sauce to make this really nice and red. Got some red wine I'm gonna use to deglaze my meat and to really enrich the sauce with sugary flavors. And also here, my meat I'm gonna use today is a simple mix of minced beef, minced veal and minced pork. So the first step will be to chop your vegetables up. Some people, even here in Italy, will put everything in a food processor and will mince everything up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dice them up into small little cubes. And we'll go back when I've got my vegetables to start our sauce. So now that our vegetables have been cut, we're gonna go back onto our meat and we're gonna start to season it. What I've got here, like I said before, is I've got some pork sausage mince, some beef mince and some veal mince. You can use only beef if you want. Beef and veal are pretty much the same animal, just veal's a little younger, so it's gonna make this sauce a little fresher, let's say. Yeah, beef can have quite a pretty strong odor and flavor sometimes, so this will sort of balance that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some salt all over my meat. Yeah, then I've got some black pepper, season it with that too. And now a little dash of extra virgin olive oil, and then go in with your hands and start breaking this through, yeah? So now that I've got my beef and veal and pork all seasoned and mixed together, we're ready to start our sauce. Right, so I've got my pan on, medium-high heat. I'm gonna add my vegetable oil and straight away I'm gonna put my meat inside it. As you can see, this almost looks like a broken up burger. And if you leave it like that, it will cook like if it was a burger. So what you wanna do is, as it's cooking, keep breaking it, yeah? So I'm gonna use a spatula here today, but I'm also gonna use a fork, and I'm just gonna keep breaking it, yeah? Just, as you can see here, keep breaking it through. Once your meat is nice and evenly cooked, you want to get it out of your pan, place it on a plate, in a bowl, anywhere you like, and then we're going to keep it here for as long as our vegetables need to cook. Yeah, so pan back on a heat, bit more vegetable oil. I'm going to leave it a second just to get super hot again. Yeah, so you can see I've minced this up nicely. Yeah, it's still got a few bigger bits, but that's okay, you know, it's a rustic dish, you know. You want it to be nice and even, but if you get a nice big chunk of meat, it's still gonna be quite nice. Pan is nice and hot. I'm gonna go in with my vegetables and let them stir fry for a little bit. Right, so now my vegetables have been cooking, they're fine as they are. I'm gonna place them into my cooking pot. Remember, you want to have a pot to cook this in that will have enough space to contain your vegetables, your meat, and your tomato passata. Put everything in your pot. Now add your herbs. I've got some bay leaf here, some sage and some rosemary. And now I'm gonna add my garlic too. Put this back on the heat. So now I'm gonna add my red wine. Give it a little stir. And now cover it with a lid and turn your heat down to medium heat. Right, so now I'm gonna go and check if my red wine has reduced right down. So once we got to this stage, we're gonna go ahead and add our tomato passata. Give it a little stir. Cover it again and turn your heat right down. You want to let this simmer for at least a good 2 hours. Right, okay, so our ragu has been cooking now for about 2 hours. Once I put it on, every sort of 20 minutes, I went back onto it, had a look, give it a little stir, and then put the lid back on and just keep it cooking. 2 hours is a good enough time. Some people cook it for 4 hours, some people cook it for ages, some people marinate the meat beforehand. This is, you know, a simple way to make it at home. Like I said, I don't want to take up your whole afternoon. So in 2 hours, you'll get a good enough sauce if you make it like this. If you remember, we've added herbs to our sauce before and also a whole clove of garlic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick out, for example, the stalk of the rosemary, my bay leaf, our sage, and our garlic. We've got these out, so this sauce is ready to be served. If you're gonna make tagliatelle al ragù, spaghetti al ragù, lasagna al ragù, the last thing you want is to find a piece of sage or a piece of bay leaf or a stalk of rosemary on your plate. You don't want your customers or your friends to find it in their dish. So take them out beforehand. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna serve some of this sauce on this plate so you can get a look at it. I'm not gonna have a complete dish with this sauce just now because I'm gonna reuse it in another few recipes that I'll show you later on. What I'm doing now is I just want to show you on a plate what this looks like. So you can see, we can still see the vegetables going through it and a few leaves of rosemary. And now this is simply because I've diced my vegetables, yeah? I mean, this is one look it can have. If you want to make it a bit quicker, and as I said before, put your vegetables in a food processor, you can do. Just this is not going to be how it will look like. Now for presentation, I'm going to put a nice sprig of rosemary on the top, little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to show you here. This is our ragù alla Bolognese from Italy.